Conference will now be recorded.
If you open up your CRC kosher app, you will see that they have food and beverages. They have Pesach info. Okay, there's a whole, you see in the very top, Pesach info? Click that. You've got alcoholic beverages, electrolytes, oral hydration, food items, infant formula, health and beauty, koshering, non-food items, supplements, Pesach medicine, pets, post-Pesach. Wow, they really added a lot this year. Tfilas Kalim, right? They really have like everything going on over here. Let's click non-food items, right? So they let you know which things, right, do need, which things don't need, right? Air fresheners, alcohol, aluminum products, ammonia, baby oil, baby powder. Interesting. Without, if they only contain cornstarch, fragrance, or other innocuous ingredients. Okay. So, right, it goes through all these things, right? Non-food items, nutritional supplements, right? I mean, it goes through everything over here, right? I was talking to someone, I was at a conference, talking to somebody from the CRC, and I told him it's such an amazing app. He told me that they invest a tremendous amount of money into this app, and what do they get for it from it? It's free app, right? It's just an incredible service. So yeah, so just a lot of right. How are you? I made it. Good. Okay. Questions. Frequently asked questions. My doctor prescribed antibiotics. Is it okay to take them on Pesach? The CDC recommends that all medicinal items in pill form, which includes most of the antibiotics adults take. That does not apply when dealing with liquid or chewable medicines, which are considered to be edible. Right? They should only be used when they're known to be free of any concerns. However, antibiotics are an exception to that rule. Generally, antibiotics are given to treat ailments which, if left untreated, can lead to a situation of sakana, danger. Therefore, one may consume antibiotics regardless of the ingredients used in creating them. Okay, this is all in the CRC app. It is amazing stuff. Okay. Okay, just really great stuff. Like I said, we're going to be using the Pesach book, the Pesach guide, which is again is a fantastic resource. Okay, so let's finish up where we are with our Muktzeh. Okay, and we're not going to, right? We can spend a lot more time, but we're not going to spend that much time on this. Okay, what does Muktzeh mean? What does Muktzeh mean?
An object that can be touched or removed on Shabbos?
Okay. So that would be the definition. The definition of a Muktzeh object would be something that can't be moved. But what Muktzeh actually means is removed. What is it removed from? From your realm of intended usage. It's Muktzeh midatcha. It is removed from your mind, right? And therefore, it's not allowed to be moved on Shabbos. And we discussed there are different categories. The klisha malachto le'isser is something that's normally used for prohibited usage. For example, a pen, right? The example the Gemara gives often is that of a hammer. So I can't use a hammer is used for building, knocking nails into walls. Can't do that on Shabbos. Let's say I have a nut that I need to crack and I can't find my nutcracker. I want to take my hammer to crack open the nut. Can I do that or can I not do that? The
Yes.
answer is I can do that. A kli, it's a tool, it's a utensil that its normal usage is prohibited. I can move it. Keywords. Litzorech gufo, if I need it itself for a permitted usage, cracking open a nut, or tzorech mikomo, or if I need where it is. The reason being that it's a tool, it's an item of my house, it's not something that is muktzeh, meaning removed from my realm of planned usage, because I use a hammer, and therefore it's not so muktzah. So I can move it if I need it for something permitted, or if it's left on the table, I can set the table. So let me ask you a question. All of a sudden, Shabbos begins, and you want to set the table. Shabbos began already, and you left a pen on the table. What's the din? Can you move it? Can you not move it?
Yes.
Yes, you can move it. Why? Yes, you can move it. What does that? What category does that fit into? A kli shemalachto leisser. It is a tool that its main principal usage is prohibited, but I need its place. Or if I needed it, let's say there's something stuck right between two things. I need something thin to knock it out. Oh, a pen will work. Can I use a pen to knock it out? Yes, because it's a kli, a vessel. Normal usage is prohibited. Its normal usage is one I can't do on Shabbos. I can move it. Litzorech gufo, litzorech mekomo. Tzorech, need, gufo itself. Tzorech, need, mekomo, of the place where it is. Good? Okay. Let's go through, let's see, page 300. He'll go through these examples. A kli shemalachto leisser is an object which is used to do work prohibited on Shabbos. Writing implements, matches, building tools, hammers, saw, nails, kitchen utensils, like a sieve, grater, sifter, empty pots, and their lids. What is interesting? So the pot, what's the pot normally used for? Cooking, right? But let's say I want to use it as a fruit bowl. Can I use it as a fruit bowl? Yes, because I'm using a kli shemalachto leisser for its own usage in a permitted manner. A kli shemalachto leisser, page 301, may not be moved on Shabbos except if it is permitted for a permitted Shabbos use, a fruit bowl, cracking open a nut, knocking out something that's stuck between two things, or one needs the place where it is lying. Did they ask you this question about a pen at your I don't think it was a pen. I think they asked you something along these lines. Yeah, but something about along these lines. Yeah. Yeah, because this is a very, very common muktzeh issue that comes up. An example of a cliche that can be moved is a hammer, can be used to crack nuts. However, if one has a nutcracker or any other suitable tool which is not muktzeh, then it'll be best to use that instead of the hammer. Fair enough. An example of a cliche that can be moved if one needs its place, hammer on a table where one wishes to eat, or on a chair one wishes to use. In these situations, one may move the hammer to another place. Okay? If you move it, you have to move it in an unusual way. Okay. So that's when here I'm able to move it, right? We'll see there are some cases of permitted ways. We'll come to that. Okay? But here I'm allowed to move it. Now, once it's not, let's say it's on the table, I need to eat. So I could pick it up. I don't have to pick it up and then drop it somewhere else. Once I pick it up, what can I do? Put it wherever it's meant to go. Okay? Good. Next case. Muktzeh, page 302, Muktzeh machmas chisarun kis. That is a very valuable item that you wouldn't use for other things. Muktzeh machmas chisaron kis means a loss of money. An object of value normally used for working on Shabbos, whose owner is particular about not using it for any other purpose because of the damage that will be caused to the object, right? Included in this category are typewriters. Who here knows what a typewriter is? Okay. I know I'm old. Okay. People, typewriters? Yeah. Okay. People used to have typewriters. Yeah. You have one? Gosh. When I was in high school, the nightmare, I didn't have to type. The nightmare was typing up a paper and then realizing that you forgot a whole paragraph. Because then, right, it's not like you could copy and paste on our computer, which were called word processors when it first came out, right? Right? You had to start from that point on. It was terrible, especially for non-typists. Oh, it was torture. Okay, so in our world, cameras, okay, securities and deposit, okay, if you have a checkbook or something like that, right? So these are things that I would say a computer, it's interesting. This little computer that we carry around in our pocket, we toss around, blah, 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 we would think that this is like a $800 to a $1,200 item. We'd be more careful with it, right? But we use it to, I don't know, right? So I don't know where, even though this is an expensive item, right? We do use it to prop something open. We do use it for different things. So I don't know if this would have this added degree of, but maybe in that case, if this was left on your table, then probably the better way to move it would be in an unusual manner, because this might fall into I'm not sure where this would fall into.
Isn't I think what they asked me was about a wallet.
Okay.
So that would be the same.
Yes. A wallet would be stricter. Okay. It may not be moved even if one wants to use it for a permitted Shabbos use or if one needs its place. But we'll come back to that in a little bit. Muktzeh machmas gufo. This comes up very often, and that is you want to take a rock to prop open your gate, right? Or you're playing checkers and you need another piece, right? So you want to pick up a rock from outside and from the garden and use that, right? Or a stick that fell from a tree. All of these things is neither, page 303, neither a utensil nor a food, such as stones, sands, peels, pits, coins, telephones, subway tokens. Old, huh? Animals, food which requires cooking to become edible, flour, uncooked beans, raw potatoes, non-kosher food, fruits and vegetables from which truma and masa were not separated, that's only in Israel, are all included in this category. This may not be moved even if one wants to use it for permitted Shabbos use or if one needs its place. Okay? Now, we'll see permitted ways. We'll come to that soon. Lastly, we have a 304, a basis ledavar ha'asur. Right? Right? For any Israelis here, there's Ori. Right? And you speak Hebrew, it makes it so much easier. All these things. Basis ledavar ha'asur means a basis is a base for something that is prohibited. Meaning, let's say, right, an object on which the owner, right, puts a muktzeh object before Shabbos. Okay, let's say I take my phone before Shabbos and I put it down on this magazine. Okay, now and Shabbos comes in. This magazine is now my base for a davar asur. It's my base for something that I can't be moved on Shabbos. This now becomes muktzeh. Even if a kid comes and knocks it off, and I want to read this magazine on Shabbos, I can't. It's muktzeh. Once it was muktzeh when Shabbos began, then it'll be muktzeh the whole Shabbos. However, that is the case when I want to put it here because this is the place where this is well guarded. That's where I keep my phone, right? for a long time, every morning I'd spend time, where's my wallet? Where's my card? Right? Until I started a system. No matter what, I put it down the same place every night. Now the room is dark, Natalie's still asleep. Doesn't make a difference. I go like this, pick it up, my pocket, and I go. Now, if that place would be on something, and I placed it there, and that's where I place it every time, then it becomes a basis ledavar asur. If I just happen to, Shabbos, I got to run, I happen to drop it there, then it will not become a basis ledavar asur. Okay? If the object at the beginning of Shabbos held both muktzeh and permitted objects, the law is different. Okay. Yeah. Let's say you've got a drawer in your kitchen. Most of us have call it a utility kindly, or a junk drawer in the kitchen that has a lot of stuff in there. You've got a screwdriver in there. You've got, right? You also have some other stuff. And let's say I want something from that drawer on Shabbos, a permitted Shabbos thing. So then the question is it mostly non-permitted muktzeh things in there? Then this drawer is a basis, a base, ledavar asur, and I can't move it. I can't open it. If it's mostly permitted things, then I can. Okay. Now, let's take 305. Splinters, glass fragments, which may cause injury, may be removed, even though it's not serving any purpose, etc., etc. But if it could cause injury, then we would sweep it up, right? This past Havdalah, right? So one of our glass, 305, one of our glass besama holders fell prey to the forces of gravity, we'll say, right? And smashed, right? So quickly, someone got a broom. We had a few barefoot kids. Someone got a broom and swept it up. Okay, that we can do. Similarly, if peels and bones remain on the table after a meal, and one finds it repulsive to let them remain there until the end of Shabbos, one may remove them. Yes.
In our book, some of us maybe, it went from 304 to 303 to 304 to 305. Okay, I was like, what is going on? It's Muktzeh. Yeah, the numbers are double if they're.
So I've got 302, 303. I turned the page to basis ledavar asur, 304, and then 305, case in which meant to move muktzeh. Let me see what you have. Is it repeated or is it more material?
There's actually one maybe it's somewhere else. It's like one duplicate. I'm not going crazy. Yeah, I was.
Oh yeah, you just have a double page, guys.
No, but it has two different things. Yeah, and the numbers are all. Look at the top. Page 300.
So someone kiss.
299. Oh, I see. Oh, 303 and 303 are the same. Okay. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we went over it.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Well, let's go to 305. Okay. The one looks like this. The second one. Okay.
Rabbi,
Yes.
what example was that you gave in regards to Muktzeh, the incident that happened after Havdalah with the glass that broke?
Yeah.
What was Muktzeh? Was it the broom?
The broken glass. It's not serving any purpose, but it can cause harm, and therefore we'll take care of it. Okay. And now we're going to come to what you brought up before, Tamar. Okay. 306, at least in my book, permitted ways to move a muktzeh object, right? By blowing it. One may blow money bills off the table. Okay. Right. Remember, the money was the category of muktzeh machmas gufo. It's not a vessel. It can't be moved, right? But it can't be moved by your touching it directly, right? An indirect blow, that you can do. Or 307, moving an object indirectly. It is permissible to move a muktzeh object by means of another object. This is called, in halachic terminology, tiltul, movement, minatzad, in a side fashion, in a non-normal fashion. One may use this method only if it's not one's purpose to make use of the muktzeh object being moved. Okay? So, right, I can't do that in order to use the object. But let's say if the object, let's say, like I said before, the cell phone is in my way. And I'm not sure if that's considered a klisha malachto le'isser, that I'm able to just move if it's in my way, or if it is something of chisarun kis, a very expensive item, and therefore I'm not allowed to move it. So what I could do is take my book and slide it out of the way, using my book to get it out of the way, right? An indirect, right? The whole muktzeh is only midrabanan. Actually, they'd ask you this question. I myself wasn't sure about this, right? They asked, what are the 7 rabbinic laws? It's a strange question because there's a lot more than 7. But the Gemara does discuss 7 rabbinic laws. Okay? So you might want to jot these down. So the way that after I said, we have to remember that. So we have 3 that are holiday related, 2 that are Shabbos related, and 2 that are meal related. Okay? It's always easy to remember once you could break things down into a category. So 2 that are Shabbos related, one of them is Muktzeh, the other one is Eruv. Okay? 2 that are meal related. Okay? So, Netilat Yadayim, washing your hands before the meal, and brachot before the food that you eat. That is rabbinic. Okay? Not in the Torah. The only Torah bracha is v'achalta v'savata uveirachta. Eat, become satisfied, and bless. So it's the blessing after we eat that is Torah level. The blessing before we eat, that is rabbinic. So that is 4 so far, right? 2 that are Shabbos related, 2 that is meal related, and 3 that is holiday related. Purim is 1, Hanukkah is a 2nd. Those are simpler. And the 3rd one is saying Hallel. Hallel is a part of the davening. It's certain chapters of praise, of thanksgiving that we give, right? And that is, those are rabbinic.
Yeah, the 3 Shabbos.
2 Shabbos.
2,
2, 3, giving us our 7.
So 3 holiday, 2 Shabbos, 2 meal.
2 meal.
Okay,
Yeah.
and, could you go over the Shabbos one? So
Muktzeh and Eruv. Okay? The Eruv that we're talking about is not so much the Eruv that we're familiar with, but the Eruv, it's kind of related. The Eruv is, let's say the 6 of us each have houses opening up into a joint courtyard. That courtyard is private property belonging to all of us. Our houses are private property belonging to each of us. So really, min haTorah, based on Torah law, I can carry from my house into the courtyard because it's all private property. I only can't carry from private to public, public to private. Here it's private to private. However, the rabbis were concerned that I'm going to think if I can carry from my house to the courtyard, well, is it so different than to carry from my house to the courtyard to carry into the street? And it is very different because the courtyard is private property, albeit joint private property. The street is public property. So as a safeguard for that, they said could only carry into the courtyard if we all get together and make an Eruv. It'll be enclosed and we all have one set place of eating. We don't have to all eat together, but we have actually the Eruv in the community is enclosed, and we all have one place to eat together. What's that? I have a box of matzah in my office, right? And that's enough. Okay, so that's the principle that even our community Eruv works on. Okay.
Rabbi,
Yes.
what's the perimeter of the Eruv?
Say it again.
What's the perimeter of the Eruv? Like, where does it go?
Oh, it's the
I know
perimeter
that it's
of the Eruv. Okay, so the Eruv is the wall of the 405 as it runs from Jeffrey to Culver. So the whole University Park neighborhood going up against the wall of the 405 is fine. Once it comes to Culver, there's a string that crosses over, so two posts and a string like a doorpost that crosses over Michelson, connects to Park West apartments to the fence. That fence goes behind all of Park West, comes out by the end of, as we're getting close to Harvard, okay? So all the Park West apartments are included in there. Then it crosses Michelson and it runs along Harvard, okay? And therefore we utilize some poles where the string goes up, back, up, back. We utilize the wall of the golf course, okay? Then we take Harvard, you get to University. It crosses from Harvard over into the median on University and goes along that median all the way up University. So Mason Park is not in the Eruv. Mason Park is beyond the Eruv. You get to University, and then it follows, it follows then University and Culver, all the way University until it becomes Jeffrey at the 405, okay? But sometimes it's on the outside, sometimes it's on the inside. At certain points, it's the wall. So you don't want to be carrying all along that University from, let's say, from Michelson to Culver. You don't want to be carrying over there. Okay, so it's kind of like a triangle. You have the 405, then you have the apartments. You come down to Harvard, and then it loops back around to the 405 on the bottom. That's the basic. On our website, I think we have the map. If we don't, we should have a map over there. Or I think that there might even be an Eruv website, Irvine Eruv. Yeah.
Just a side note, I was driving down University the other day. I think I saw in the median, I may have seen string down.
Okay, so if you do see a string down, so there are certain strings that we are no longer using, okay? So if you do see a string down, and in certain places we did a double string, in case one string comes down, we'll have the other string. Though there's really a great debate, because there's an opinion that says, yeah, it's because you did two strings and they keep rubbing against each other. That's why it fell down, right? So are we helping or hurting? I don't know, right? But so if you do see a string down, the first thing to do is to look up and see, is there another string? Okay, if you can, right? Secondly, then let us know, send me a text or Elon Wolf a text, but very important, let us know where it was. Because again, there are certain areas that because the string's coming down, we have gone beyond using those strings. At the very beginning, from Culver down to Golden Glow, there's a steep decline. That becomes our wall. Then we cross over, so we don't need all of those strings there. Then we cross over, and then we use the wall that goes from Golden Glow to Beech Tree. So any strings over there, if they come down, doesn't affect us. After that, it starts to affect us again, right? Along Mason Park, there are the taller strings, but then we put the lower poles. And we're using the lower poles now. Now, if it does come down, we can fix it. Right? So there's been a lot of moving parts on it.
What
But
material is it made out of?
it's a very strong fishing wire. Yeah, that's what we use. It can be any material as long as it forms a doorpost. Post on top, string going across. That was an ingenious innovation, halakhic innovation. When I say innovation, it's not that we came up with a new halacha, but the halacha is you could have a wall or you could also have a door frame. The door frame could be no matter how tall it is, no matter how wide it is. So along came those, we call the Yiddish cup, that Jewish head, and said, okay, how are we going to get cities to be included, right? So in many cities, you've got your electric poles and you've got the wires that run. Say, hey, it's done for us, right? Irvine is too sophisticated to have any wires showing, right? So all the wires run underground. So we ended up doing those using the light poles, and we have a little contraption that went on top of them with permission from the city and from Southern California Edison. And then we have a wire that runs from light pole to light pole. So that is doorpost, 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 doorpost. And that's how we include wide areas.
And the doorpost is essentially like the doorpost, that'll be symbolic
It's-
to
it's-
literally
it's-
stepping
it's-
on the door.
Correct, and it's closed.
Oh,
It's
okay.
considered a closed area. Yeah. We had some pushback from some residents here who and they were claiming that, there can't be religious symbols. The city backed us fully. And as I explained to them, there have been many legal cases in New York, in New Jersey, the city of Tenafly versus the Teaneck Eruv organization. This has been litigated in courts many times, and it's been ruled that the Eruv is not a religious symbol. Right? There's a very nice Mormon fellow who's always being in touch with me because he found our holy string that had fallen down. He didn't want it to be on the ground. Such a sweet person. So he picked it up and brought it to me, right? And I thanked him by letting him know, it's not holy string, right? It is, it's used, I don't know the best word. It's something that we use, right? But it doesn't make it holy, okay? So actually, from a legal sense, right, Shelby, you might enjoy this. From a legal sense, it's not considered a religious symbol, which a city is not supposed to put up. It's considered a religious accommodation that a city is almost obligated to make as long as it's not going to be inconveniencing putting out other people, right? And it was ruled, and the religious Jewish lawyer who argued these cases before the courts in New York, he realized, he said he felt he had the weight of American Jewry on his shoulders, literally. Because if the ruling would be an Eruv is not allowed, is illegal, so then a religious family will find it very hard to live here in America, right? I have kids. I want to push a stroller. I can't go, right? It would really have tremendously impacted upon religious Jewish life in America. Maybe I shouldn't record that. And they say, oh, that's the way to get them out, right? Whatever the case is, there's been precedent already, right? And that's how and why we are here. Yeah. Okay. Permitted ways, we said, moving an object indirectly, right? Tiltum and atzad, right? Only take a garment which is not muktzeh, even if the process of muktzeh garment will be moved. Only take a book, even if some coins will be moved in the process. One may not move a muktzeh object through indirect means if the real intention is to get to the muktzeh object. Okay? Good. Continued, 308, at least in my book, right? Moving muktzeh by nudging with one's body. According to the Mishnah Berurah, one may move muktzeh to the part of the body which one is not generally used for that purpose. Or you move the ajah with one's foot, mouth, be careful, elbow, but not with one's hands. The Chazon Ish forbids moving muktzeh in this way, and the Chazon Ish was a great posek in Bnei Brak in the 1940s and 50s. The Mishnah Berurah written by the Chafetz Chaim, and in general we follow the Mishnah Berurah, we follow the Chafetz Chaim. Okay, laws of Erevin, we just went through that a little bit, so we're not going to go through that much. Just I'll tell you, make sure you check and you know that the Erev is up, and then you're okay carrying things around within the Erev. Okay?
So
Every once in a while the Erev is down. In that case, you can't carry keys, you can't carry things, you can't push strollers, all those things. Yes.
So
Ava.
let's say you are walking home from shul one Shabbat, and you notice that the Arab line is down at that point, but you have your siddur, your little bag. Like, can you proceed to your home at that point, or is there a step you need to take?
Okay. In those situations, okay, sometimes if that happens, if we know people are going to be carrying no matter what, it's better that we don't announce it. Okay? Let people be doing it unaware than doing it deliberately. Okay? Now, keep in mind also, this is all a rabbinic institution. It's one of our 7. Okay? Because our streets are not bona fide Reshut HaRabim. Public property really means where you've got 600,000 people traveling there a day. Okay? And that's not our neighborhood. That's not even Culver. That is the 405, which is why we can't, if Woodbridge would get an Eruv, we would not be able to connect the 2 Eruvs, because we can't include the 405, because that is a bona fide Reshut HaRabim. Okay? So if you're walking and first of all, you see the string down, unless you really know the Eruv, you don't know if that string is being used, not being used, right? To leave the siddur there, it's going to get desecrated, right? So then I would say, carry on.
Okay.
Carry on. Yeah. But usually we know, and we send out word. Okay? Sometimes it's down, but we know the person's going to get there Friday afternoon or early Saturday morning and fix it, and that will also be okay to move forward on that. Okay? Good. Okay, let's just see. Okay, Shabbos and work done in the tabernacle, page 325. So this we've discussed already. Okay, that Shabbos and Mishkan are always linked together. The 39 malacha that we don't do on Shabbos are the 39 creative activities that went into the building of the Mishkan. What is the more understanding link between Shabbos and Mishkan?
That God created a space for us in His world.
And therefore, God, Shabbos is creation, is God creating a space for us in His world. We reciprocated with Mishkan, which is our creating a space for God in our world.
Our world. Good.
Okay. Another level that we discussed this morning, but I understand you have something doing, right? That we had in our parsha. By the way, everyone's welcome to join 9:30 to 10:30 Tuesday mornings. We have parsha and pastries. It's both in person and it is also online. Anyone who can join is more than welcome to join. we discussed that there's also another aspect. Mishkan is holiness when it comes to space. Shabbos is holiness when it comes to time. There are two realms within which we exist, within the realm of space and the realm of time, and we dedicate a certain part of the realm of space and the realm of time to God, to holiness. Now we don't have the Mishkan, but our shul is considered to be, not just our shul, but all shuls, but certainly our shul, is considered to be a Mikdash Ma'at, which is a microcosm of the Mikdash. And therefore, this is a place that is designated as a place of holiness, a place that is designated as a place for God. Okay. We have Avos and we have Toldos, page 326, and Uvdin Dechol. An Av is the father, the Tolda is the generation, right? For example, one of the 39 is don't plant. That's the Av. A Tolda of that, which is on a Torah level, is anything which will help something grow. Watering is not one of the 39, but that is in the equal category of planting because it is aiding and abetting in the growth of something growing from the ground. Therefore, that's an Av and a Tolda. Uvdin Dechol is the idea of things that you normally do during the week. In a weekday fashion, we don't want to do that on Shabbos. So using certain, let's say, a grader. Well, that's another issue. Let me think of a good example of Udin Dechol. Do they give that? Let's see what he says. Okay, and Av Malacha is one of the 39. Okay, we went through that, right? The Tolda, page 329, we just explained, right? Here, right? Similar in purpose to the Av, right? Watering plants, a Tolda of planting. Its purpose to make plants grow is similar. Okay. Okay. A deliberate, unintentional. Okay. Av and Tolda. Rabbinical laws on Shabbos. Okay. So let's see that. Right. Page 333. An act that is similar to one of the 39 malachot, an act that could lead one to violate Shabbos by Torah law, the act that involves strenuous work. Okay. All right. Strenuous work, right, that we wouldn't want to do on Shabbos. Okay. Uvdin Dechol, some would, there are different examples of that. Yeah. In some communities, they would look askance on riding scooters, right? Non-electric scooters, even a regular scooter on Shabbos. Here we do it. I don't make an issue out of that, right? But some would say that's called Uvdin Dechol. It's like a weekday sort of thing, right? Playing tennis on Shabbos, right? Within the Erev, right? So is one breaking Shabbos? No. But it's more of a weekday activity, doing exercises on Shabbos, right? Uvdin Dechol. These are weekday activities. And here in our community, I'm not quick to come down on Uvdin Dechol. Put it like that. I'd rather people be playing tennis than being machal Shabbos. Let's put it like that. Right. So it really depends on the community and what's going on and the different standards over there. Okay. With that, Hadron Alach. We'll review you. Illustrated Guide to Shabbos. Okay. And like I said, the Pesach magazine. You really want to get hold of that. I'm sorry? A siyum. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I showed you guys the CRC app that you have. If you don't have it, get it on your phone. It's a free app. It's a treasure trove. This has a lot of very important things. Okay, it has some articles, not so, right? But it has over here sizing up the Seder. Right, we'll go through this together. A very important part on page 48 is you've got the kitchen, right? You've got the modern kitchen, and it goes through all the things in the kitchen and what needs to be done for those things. What can be done, what can't be done. Number 11, electric mixer, not recommended. Put it away. Okay, right? Number 17 is the table. So you've got to burn your table as a wooden table. You guys know that, right? I'm kidding. Don't worry. Okay, right? You have to clean it, and you've got to cover it. Okay. All the wooden tables can be koshered, not by burning it, but by pouring boiling hot water. The common custom is to clean tables well and then cover them. Okay, dish towels, right? Tablecloths, as long as they're washed, they can be used. You don't need to have different Pesach dish towels and tablecloths. See, number 13, Keurig. Interesting. Okay. Hagala or Eroy. Hagala is immersion into boiling hot water. Eroy is pouring boiling hot water onto something. So that gets into, okay, they go through each of these. We'll go through each of these things, right? The refrigerator, microwave, warming drawers, ovens, freezers, all these things. Stainless steel sink. Those are good. Ceramic sinks, right? What do you do with counters, different counters, covering, not covering? How do you cover it, koshering it? This is a treasure trove, okay? Also then, interesting, cute. Let them eat cake. But that's a quote from Dickens, right? A Tale of Two Cities, okay? When was that where it's from? Or maybe actually it was a statement of
the Queen of France.
the Queen of France, something in France. Yeah. So Tale of Two Cities is about the French. I'm not sure. Yeah, when they're complaining that there wasn't bread. Yeah. Okay, but it lets you know how you could substitute different things for Pesach. That's good to know. One thing that Natalie does, which is fantastic, is she uses almond flour for a lot of her baking. Okay, she doesn't have actually all year round. Now the almond flour in Costco has a hechsher on it, and that can be used for Pesach. So whenever you find something that has all year round prices that can be used on Pesach, that's a gold mine, or that makes you avoid having to spend a gold mine on simple items, right? So if you use almond flour instead of regular flour, so that is kosher Pesach. So it's a way you could use many of your usual recipes simply substituting certain things, and you're good to go. Okay, they have OU products that don't require OUP. Right, when it's kosher Pesach, it has an OUP on it. They go through. There's certain things that don't require OUP as long as it has an OU. Right. Tea bags, unflavored, right? Not decaffeinated, raisins, right? It goes through. It's fantastic. And then you also have, as you have on the CRC app, you also have non-food items, things which don't need Pesach certification at all. You have it here. The CRC app also has a lot of that. Okay, so next week, we'll have a few weeks, we're going to work on Pesach and going through that, going through the Seder, going through all of these things as we get ready for the very, very beautiful Jewish holiday. Once again, the second Seder, that's Thursday night. That's April 2nd. So Natalie and I are having a community Seder here. And as we say, we leave our kids at home because they don't want to leave their babies. So they're They're all at home having a Seder. We're leaving our family. So come, keep us company. Come join us. Don't leave us hanging, okay? Come join us. And it's always a really nice Seder. So please, please, please sign up. And once again, if the finances are an issue, just let me know. And we have funds to take care of that. Okay, guys. Good night. Next week, again, okay. Is this time work for most people? Okay. So we're going to keep it around this time. Maybe, yeah. Davening is going to get a little bit later. We'll keep it around this time. Good. Okay. Yesher koach, everybody.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Good night.
Rabbi.